What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another brand new episode of Lure Reviews. We got a great one for you today. It's very interesting, as you guys saw by the title, and it starts right now.
Look at that fish. Jesus, bro. Holy Jesus! I just got obliterated. There he is. Got him. Got him. That's the one I wanted. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I didn't even. Holy Jesus. There's a fish. There's a nice fish.
What's up, everyone? As you guys heard in the pre-intro, we got a great episode for you guys today of Lure Reviews. And today is an excellent one, and I'm going to grab them out right now. So today, we're going to talk about probably the most well-known soft plastic company and soft plastic maker there is in bass fishing, and that would be Yamamoto baits, made by Gary Yamamoto right here in the United States. So, a little background on them. They're USA made stick bait. He created the actual Senko, which is like the stick worm that we all know and love. We Texas rig, we Nico rig, we wacky rig, we everything rig, right? So I was at Dick's the other day and found all Yamamoto deals, or all Yamamoto plastics were buy 3 get 3 free. So naturally I picked up 6 different colors of Yamamoto baits. So I spent $27. They're $9 per 10 pack. For 5-inch Senkos, I got 6 different colors. The colors are green pumpkin, watermelon flake, watermelon cream laminate, pro blue, which I really liked that one, fire crawl, which is another cool one. I'll show you guys all these colors in a moment, plum apple, and gooseberry laminate. So here, real quick on these colors, let's take a look at these. So here's our gooseberry laminate. It's a nice kind of purpley red with like a red-green flake inside, very cool color. Next up we have this is our plum apple. Again, a like purplish, kind of reddish, black color with blue and green flake in it, if I can get to focus. There we go. For that fire crawl, pretty standard what it's gonna be. Excuse me. It's a nice reddish orange with like black pepper flakes in it. Then next we have is our Pro Blue, and I love this. It's a nice two-tone. It's a blue and silver color. Looks like a nice shad, or a nice bluegill color. Then we have the watermelon cream laminate, another kind of shad. It's a green and silver color. And finally, watermelon green pumpkin red flake. So 6 great colors. I actually really love the coloring here. I think the colors are fantastic. They're extremely natural looking. They have some really good patterning through them, and I think they look really good. But that's about as much as I can say about them in a good sense, honestly. I set out to do a video on them. I wanted to take them all out, catch fish on each one, and compare the weights on them. I caught 3 fish in 2 hours, so they didn't perform nearly as well as I was anticipating on getting bites. On a day that I went out and I fished Guggen earlier today. I went out earlier today and I fished the Bass Pro Tournament Series. I went out and I've recently also been fishing things like the Big Bite baits and the net bait and tons of other soft plastics, Zoom trick worms, all sorts of different worms and soft plastics. And they've been performing exceptionally well. So these did not step up to the plate in the sense of getting bites like I had anticipated. Like I had been told, it's a great day for fishing. It's not really a conditions thing. They weren't getting bit. I would swim them in front of a fish, knock them down on their bed, and the fish wouldn't even look at it. Or when I would fish other baits at those fish, they were getting hammered. So didn't seem to have the drawing power I was anticipating for the colors that they offered, and again for the price. I mean, it's $8.99 for a 10 pack, so you're looking at 89.5 to 90 cents essentially per worm. That's a lot for soft plastic. Technically, I paid 45 cents a worm at buy with 3 get 3 free. I'm glad I got them on sale. But that's not really. That was the first problem. First problem was I wasn't getting the bites I was anticipating. They were kind of swiping at it. The second problem that I noticed with these, and this is the bigger one for me, at 90 cents a worm, the quality was horrendous, honestly. I caught 3 fish. I caught 2 bluegill and 1 bass. The 1 bass was about 1.2, 1.3 pounds. So not a humongous bass. And it took me 11 worms. Yes, 11 worms to get those bass. I'd put a fresh one on and cast it out and it'd fly off the hook. It'd tear right off the hook. I would set the hook on a fish and I'd reel the fish in and the worm would be torn off or torn almost in half on the first fish. They'd get bitten in half really easily, which I understand that happens a lot elsewhere, but these were getting bitten off like crazy. I would set the hook and the hook would rip right through the worm. Especially when it was wacky rigged. I don't like the plastic O-rings, like the little plastic bands around them. I like to put it right through the bait. I think it gives a little better presentation. Plus I don't want to spend the extra money on the bands. But I would set hooks on wacky rigs or just kind of pull it through grass and it would rip the worm in half. At 90 cents a worm, I think that's unacceptable. The only way to say it is I was extremely disappointed in the quality of these worms. I mean, if you take one out, this was the one I had the most trouble with, was the watermelon cream. These seem to just fall apart. But I mean, you look at one of these, they feel cheap in here. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show you exactly what I was noticing was an issue. So we're gonna take out of our box, let me grab it. We have right here a brand new, just out of the pack, Yamamoto Senko. We have a brand new EWG 1/0 hook. Okay, brand new. We're going to go ahead, get this to focus here. There we go. Let's go in, down, and look. We've gone in and down. Now let's see if I can get to focus back here for you guys. It's already tearing the worm. It didn't just puncture a hole through. The plastic is already tearing. Look at this. I really wish this would focus for you guys just right. But it's already starting to tear through the plastic that easily. I mean, for a 90-cent worm, keep in mind, 90 cents a worm, almost $1 a worm, okay? You should, I mean, it's tearing at the head of it, and all I'm doing is putting the hook in. That's horrible. So let's go over some of the goods and bads real quick, like we do in every episode. And then I'll give you guys my recommendations. So like I said, 5-inch trick worm, 10 pack, $8.99. Okay, that's the standard price. Sometimes you'll find them at $7.99. Sometimes, you know, they'll be on a better deal. But these were $9.99, but then on buy 3 get 3 free. So, but for the price of $9.99, which is the normal MSRP that I've found. And I will, by the way, link in the description below a link to these if you do want to buy them. And we'll talk about recommendations on that in a minute. Positives, one, the coloring on them is exceptional. I really do like the color patterns. The color patterns on them are exquisite. They are very good. I mean, you look at them and they do look good. They look like a fish, right? They're fish colored. They look attractive. Another positive, I know they have a good scent to them. You can smell it as a person. You can smell that there's scent built into them. They have a very nice scent. They also have a nice action. They sink properly. They do what they're supposed to do in the water. They don't float to the top. They don't plump to the bottom. They have a nice fluttering action. You know, you want a worm to flutter its way down, so it looks like a dying bait fish. It doesn't just, you know, cannonball to the bottom. It also doesn't just float to the top. So it does have a good action. But again, that's where the positives stop for me. My biggest issue and my biggest negative for these is going to be, well, there's two of them. One, value, and two, durability. When it comes to value, 90 cents a worm is expensive. I mean, you start looking at, you know, what do I pay 90 cents for per plastic? Something like a Mayor from Crush City, right? These are $6.99, or I think these are over $1 actually. These are $6.99 for a 6-pack. And they hold up like crazy. I mean, I can catch 10, 12 fish on those as trailers. You start looking at other prices for worms. I mean, Guggen, who is fine, they're expensive as well. They're like $7.99 a pack for an 8-pack. So they're about $1 a worm as well. And those have held up better for me. So first off, 90 cents a worm. Second issue with it is that, which works in with value, is durability. When I'm spending 90 cents on a soft plastic worm, I'm not expecting to catch 20 fish on it, right? I understand that's a plastic worm. I would expect that before I have to take the worm and put it up here in my box, I've got my box where I save all my old soft plastics. It is a humongous box mixed with a ton of different plastics in here from different brands that I have and have not had good luck with. But I would expect at 90 cents a worm, 4 or 5 fish per lure. I think that's a fair number, especially when, I'm not fishing in super heavy weeds. I'm not catching 10-pound fish. I'm using, 10-pound braid on a medium fast spinning combo, right? I'm not horsing these things. I'm not ripping them. I'm fishing them like they're supposed to. And I was, the best I got was a worm was catching 1 fish and then it was done. I was very, very disappointed in the quality of these worms. So overall, what are my recommendations? If, there's people that swear by Gary Yamamoto baits, and that is fine. I'm glad you guys like them. I do love the coloring, I do. But for the money, honestly, I'm going with my trusty ones. I'm going to Big Bite Baits, or I'm going to Missile Baits, and I'm spending my money with them. Personally, I'm not buying Gary Yamamoto bait skin unless they're on a deal. I mean, I've got up here some Ned worms from them, like the 4-inch Ned worms somewhere. Here they are, that I've yet to try out. I need to try out the 4-inch Yamasenkos. Maybe those are different. But the 5-inch worms is what we're talking about today. I will never buy again. Wasted 27 bucks. Wish I would have spent that 27 bucks on something else. Yeah, it's as simple as that. These were by far and away the worst soft plastics I've ever had. And I mean, I use Creme brand, which are $1 a piece at Walmart. The 5 packs $1.25 or $1, depending on the deal, right? We're talking Creme. We're talking Lost Creek that I was buying 10 packs for 77 cents, right? I mean, we're talking the cheapest of the cheapest stuff I've used, because I'm a cheapskate. And I saw these on a deal and said, I'm going to treat myself to some nice worms, and I got bit for it. So overall, do I recommend you buy these? No. Do not buy the Yamamoto Senkos. I've had poor luck with them. I've used all 6 colors. I used 6 different packs of worms, right? This wasn't isolated to 1 pack as an issue. This was 6 different packs of worms. Maybe I got bad luck, right? Maybe they sat in the truck when we got way too hot and got too soft. But I don't know what to tell you guys. They just were horrendous. So yeah, that is my lure review on the Gary Yamamoto Yamasenko in the 5-inch, the 10-pack for $8.99. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. As always, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and ring that notification bell, as it is the easiest way to continue to support my channel. We are slowly growing again. So hopefully we're pushing, we're past our 1,000 subs. Hopefully we can keep pushing up and just keep going. So that is today's video, guys. Thank you guys again so much for your support and for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next episode.